Before I talk about the Wagner Reloaded thing, I'd like to start in the beginning.
Okay. Perfect.
Do you remember the first record that you bought?
Not really, because I grew up in a musical family. My father and mother, they were both classical professional musicians, and but for example, my father, he was listening to music in a really big range. Even he was like a solo clarinet player in Finnish National Opera.
Okay.
He was listening all the rock music and pop music all the time. So since I'm born, I've been listening to music all the time.
So it was always around?
Always around. So there was classical music. I went to the concerts and I started to play cello when I was 6 years old. But in our home we were listening a lot of jazz music and those classic like Beatles and Pink Floyd and Neil Young, all the like classics. So I know the roots, but we listened also to some pop music like some like Diana Ross and that kind of music. And
was there something, maybe one album or a song that you remember quite well from when you were young?
I liked a lot of those Beatles and songs, yeah.
Why the Beatles?
No, but maybe that was good for the young boy to understand. That's quite simple melodic things. But when I got older, I liked the Pink Floyd a lot. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's quite different than cello music. So, but you already started playing when you were 6?
Yeah, I played the cello at the same time. Yes.
Yeah. Well, why did you start playing? Well, obviously your family is very musical.
You know, of course, it was a pretty natural thing that because I was in a musical family. My both parents were players and music personalities, and also my grandparents were like my grandmother was cello player.
Okay.
And my grandfather was a violin player. My other grandfather was like a organ player and choir conductor. So everything was like music. But I guess because my grandmother was professional cello player, and my mother also played cello when she was younger, and studied in Sibelius Academy, and she was actually a singer, and still is. She lives. So, but we had a cello hanging on the ceiling of our apartment. So maybe that was one of the reasons why I chose the cello.
Did your grandmother and your mother teach you how to play?
Not really. I went to the other teacher, okay. But of course, when you start to study some instrument, of course you go to lesson weekly, like one time a week, or sometimes twice a week. But then you got to practice every day, and I practiced with my mother, and of course then she knew how to hold the cello and do the things. Okay.
But from very early on, there was always these two sides: the classical for you, the classical side, and also the more rock pop.
Yeah, I have never seen the borderlines between the music genres. So, in my school days, when in the 7th grade, I had a band as well, and I played some electric bass over there, and we had all the couple of years we played together. It was a really successful band. It was called The Fuckers. Actually, it was called The Motherfuckers.
What was the music like?
It was everything from... We played a lot of cover songs, so from everything from Kiss to Finnish rock music and some progressive Bach versions and progressive, yeah.
Were you any good?
It was just having fun together with the friends.
Okay, well, you met Eicca obviously to form what turned out to be Apocalyptica. Do you remember the first time you met him?
Yeah, we went to Riistavesi music camp. And music camps, that was it was just normal school. You know, in the summertime we have the schools are off for 2.5 months, and so schools are empty. And so that music camp took like 1.5 weeks or 2 weeks, and we were living in school and sleeping in the classrooms.
Okay.
We had the like mattresses over there and sleeping bags, and you sleep there, and during the day you have like orchestra rehearsals, you have lessons, and then you practice every day a lot. And Eicca was sleeping next to me.
Okay.
He was a young guy, and I was like a big brother, older brother, and he had a really good vibe, and we made a friend.
Well, what did you think? Because he's this young guy who can play, I assume, pretty well. Was it just simply because you were next to each other, or was there something else?
No, you know, it's chemistry. He had already really good vibe.
Okay.
And a certain, special. Yeah, man. Yeah. He was a really cool guy, and I liked him a lot.
Okay. Well, when did the point then come when you started making music together?
Yeah, that came a lot later. We knew already many years, maybe 5 years, and we were playing in the same symphony orchestra, and Eicca did some arrangement for evening program. So we were practicing a couple of cover songs, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a really spontaneous thing. It was no aim to do any albums or recordings, just having fun together with the friends.
Was it this step something easy for you to do, to combine rock metal elements with classical music?
Of course, we can play. It's easy. Yeah, but of course there's a tricky point. But Eicca did a really good arrangement, and it's a lot of fun to play. And
I asked him this as well. Did you hear some reactions from maybe your school teachers or something? Because sometimes if you combine those two worlds,
of course, we played for our friends who were also music players. It was also a music camp, and they loved that.
Okay.
It was a lot of like big success. And then we were playing a couple of times a year in a Sibelius Academy, school parties, and everybody loved that. It was fun. And already at that time there was some of our friends who say that you should do some album. It's a really cool thing. But we were like, stop it. Just kidding. This is just for fun. And yeah. But once we had like a metal event, we were asked to play there. And actually, I was not playing in that specific show. Perttu was there. But after that show, there was one indie label record company guy who came to us and asked for an album. And we were thinking that, okay, if you pay the cost, it's a cool thing. And maybe if the album sells 500 copies or 1,000 copies, it will be really cool to get the like production cost away.
Right.
Suddenly it sold over 1 million copies. So it was a really cool kickstart.
What did this do to you when all of a sudden it's become so popular?
Of course, it's amazing, like hype and how everything happened after that. Even the 5th show we were playing, we were supporting Metallica.
Okay.
Can you imagine, like a new coming band, and 5th show you can support Metallica? we were lucky bastards.
Well,
yeah.
What was their reaction? Because I assume they've heard you play your versions of their songs.
Yeah, of course. They love that. Okay. Of course it feels really weird. But maybe that's the thing why we are here.
That makes it that special.
Yeah, it's not only a joke, but it's we didn't mean anything. We just did it, and it just happened. So, but of course, after that point we had really like a good success and a good start. It didn't mean that it was like a economical success in the beginning. Of course, the album started to sell pretty well, and 4 or 5 first years we were like earning some money from the record sales. But we were playing really small, tiny places around Finland, and then we had some first tours in Germany, and then we had some more shows in Europe. But really tiny clubs, like 200 people listening and touring with a really rotten van. and so, but it's step by step we grew bigger and bigger, and it's been a really nice journey. Now we have done like 7 studio albums and quite many releases.